Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a pretty late September budget recap. I've closed this budget quite a few weeks ago, so I'm just now taking a look again at what happened in September. What I do know is that we did a whole lot of saving, but at the same time, not saving, a whole lot of spending, but at the same time also did save quite a bit also. So I'm just going to start here in this section of my budget spreadsheet. If you guys don't know, I do budget by Paycheck, and we do get paid bi-weekly. So I have it broken down into 2 paychecks, but right now we are going to be just focusing on this side right here, which is my monthly spending recap, and then taking a look at how that looks visually here on our pie chart. So our starting balance for the month was $2,048.86. And I usually don't like to have a high starting balance since we do a zero-based budget. I like to make sure that everything goes where it needs to go, other than having $100 or close to that being left over as our cushion. But I think I had that amount left over because we needed to pay a couple things. I'm just looking here really quick in August. But I think that's what happened. That's why it's so high. And then our incoming income, I know it looks crazy high. So this is a combination of a couple things. So the leftover balance from August, our paychecks, or my husband's paychecks, I should say, our emergency fund, child tax payment, a gift from our travel fund because we did book a trip. I'll get into that in a little bit. And then my savings, like a little bit for my savings. So, and the amount of total expenses was at $9,146.59. So we did have a leftover amount of $21.88 that we carried over to October. And just the breakdown over here on this side, rent is always $13.95, which, as you guys can see here, it takes up a huge chunk, kind of a huge chunk of our expenses. Subscriptions, it was at $45.97. I think I was expecting to pay one of our other subscriptions, but we ended up not having to. I think that's why it's so high or low over here. Utilities, just about the same. I did forget to pay for an electricity bill, so our cushion kind of ate that up. Insurance is pretty much per usual. We have no debt. We're debt free. And then for savings, we were originally supposed to save about $4,400. We ended up saving $2,674 because in the second half of September, after our trip in San Jose, my husband did get injured, so he wasn't able to go back to work. He actually isn't back to work as of right now. It is, what's today? It's Wednesday, October 20th. So he will be going back to work next week. So that's why we've been holding on to a lot of the money that, we have. So in preparation for the next budgets. So in our savings, we were able to finish off our Christmas fund. I did put aside money for vehicles, kids, myself, my husband, my son's oral surgery, put a chunk in there. That's actually coming up pretty soon. We put $500 in the 529 account and then $624 in the Roth IRA that my husband had. And so on the next budget, the second paycheck budget for September, we were supposed to put $265 again for the oral surgery. And then that $1,500 that I took from emergency fund was supposed to go in that Roth IRA, but we needed to hold off since I knew my husband wasn't going to go back to work. We were not going to receive an income or a paycheck. So I just wanted to be prepared and just hold off from saving for now until we receive his SDI payment, the state disability insurance payment. So that's what happened with the savings. Food, I'm surprised we didn't go completely over, but I think in the second half of the month, the second paycheck budget, I really tried to slow my roll on the takeout. So we didn't go crazy overspending on food. Transportation, I need to get a better, calculation on how much we're going to be needing for gas. So we did go a little bit over, especially since gas has been increasing here for us. I'm sure everywhere else as well. Household, we did go over. That's another thing that I need to be mindful of is the spending with our household because I've been finding things that we've needed to replace. We replaced light bulbs recently because it went out. And I think I ended up buying storage items or something that I probably should have waited, but because we needed other things, we ended up going over. So I just need to be more mindful of the things we actually need versus want at the moment. And then for the kids, we did go over $8. We did get a couple things that they needed. I think part of that was for the wedding that we were going to. And then my husband, since he didn't work in the last half of September, pretty much, he didn't really spend a whole ton of money because he only really spends his allowance on takeout while he's at work. And then for myself, I did do quite a bit of spending, and that was for the Galaxy Tab X6 Lite. It was on sale, and it was something that I've been wanting since last year. And I asked my husband if I could get it, so we went ahead and did it. But the thing is with this one is that I did put it on a credit card so we can get the points for it. And then we paid it off this Paycheck budget. So, and I took $100 from myself from my savings, and then the rest we budgeted into the budget. So that's all paid off. So yeah, I did do quite a bit of spending on myself, but no regrets. I really love that tablet. And yeah, so for fun and events, we did spend $20 over, and part of that is we used some of the funds for Halloween. And then I got to go back and look at my spending in fun and events. Hold on. We got craft supplies, birthday gifts and stuff, and then treats for school. So yeah, one of the things that's great about tracking your expenses is that if you forget what the hell you spent, you can just go back and kind of check on the kind of spending that you did. So yeah, anyways, so with healthcare, we did go over $41, and I think that's when my husband started going to the doctor, I believe. So that's what that was, as well as like picking up medicine. He did go to urgent care as well. Miscellaneous, it's at $21.89. The thing with our miscellaneous is that we only really keep, or we put things under here that we know doesn't go under any other category. It also serves as a cushion for us as well, just in case. So that's why that's kind of low. It's just whatever is doesn't belong anywhere else in our budget. So for travel, since our Hawaii trip got canceled, we did use our travel money, our travel savings, to book a Big Bear trip that my sister-in-law was kind of talking to me about. So we decided to just go ahead and book it. We booked the Airbnb, and it's going to be in January. We are going to be splitting it with another family, so I will be getting part of that amount back. So for this month, we did spend a huge chunk in travel. As for business, I do have a business category still here in our personal checking account. I do have a business checking account, but for right now, the amount of money that I have in there is just covering whatever I need to for the monthly expenses that I have for the business. But for the bigger things, like I'm in Mastermind right now, that's $197. And I also invested in a business software, which is a huge chunk that I didn't want to take out of my own business account. So yeah, that's what's got budgeted in the budget for this time around. That's going to be interesting when I'm doing our taxes for next year, because I'm going to have to fill out a form for all the business transactions that I did in our personal account. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. It is still my first year of business, so I'm still learning about all of these things and what to do, what not to do, preparing for tax time and all of that. So yeah, I'm still putting quite a few business charges in our personal checking account for now. Hopefully I won't have to do that next year. But yeah, so the next or the last item on here is the sponsorship, which we decided to, in the beginning of the month, we sent them a little bit more than what we usually would. It ended up being 8,000 pesos, which is in the Philippines. That's their currency. And yeah, so we usually put like $125 or $120. But we decided to put a little bit more because we thought we had a lot of extra money and stuff. So, and moving down here, I did make a couple notes. it looks like. Oh, I did a breakdown of my son's oral surgery costs from last year because I wanted to have a good idea of how much I should be saving for it. And I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. His procedure is on October 27th, and we pretty much have, I think we have like $1,200 in there right now or something like that. And I want to have at least $1,500. So I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. The bill will probably not come in until December, from what I remember last year. So, and then looking over here in our monthly spending recap in this nice little pie chart that I have here, I like having this in my budget because I like being able to go back and see just visually where a chunk of our money went. And then just looking overall here with all these big chunks, I could see that a lot of it went to travel. A lot of our money, of course, every month goes to rent. And then a chunk of it this month went to savings, which is still very nice to see, especially since I know that we did do a lot of spending this month. It's nice to see that I actually was able to save as well. But yeah, again, it's just nice to see this so that when you're taking a look or reviewing your budget, it's just nice again to see where a majority of your money went and if it's aligning with the goals that you have. So that's my reason for having one of these. Anyways, you guys, so that is pretty much it for this budget recap. Thank you guys so much as always for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Have a good one, guys.